Okay, so goal number 1, establish leadership. Goal number 2, establish a starting point. Are we starting to see how knowing what these goals are, it really sets us up for action? It really gives us a pretty clear path on, okay, if I was in that situation, I know what to do. You know, when you guys went through the simulation, it was really exciting to see how quickly you were able to come up with some awesome ideas that are the same ideas that I would have come up with if I was in your situation, and how really effective community development work, it's necessary to understand proven methods, but it's also not rocket science. And so it's so exciting to see what one individual is able to achieve once they're armed with the 4 principles and the 7 goals. So our third goal right here is developing the leader's capacities. As we are able to help to create a coordinating committee, as we're able to help to establish leadership, then we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to build up their capacities, to make them better and stronger leaders and more equipped to be able to solve the problem or address the issue that they've been mandated to be able to address. Okay, and so their goal is to develop leaders' capacity. One objective, there's a number of different objectives, but one objective is to support them in studying success that's elsewhere. This becomes a really powerful tool in community development work as local coordinating committees start to take it upon themselves to look outside of their own community for other successes, right? So looking for bright spots within our community gives us our starting point. Looking for success in other communities or in other places or in other regions or other nations or in books that tell us about success in other parts of the world, that helps us to build capacity, to continue to come up with new ideas, to be able to expose ourselves to proven methods, to recognize proven failures, things that don't work, and make sure that we're constantly positioning ourselves as effectively as possible for success. Some of the benefits for focusing on developing the capacity of leadership and helping them to study success elsewhere is they're going to gain additional ideas, okay? They're going to learn best practices and strengthen their understanding of what these best practices are. And if we're literally going with community members to go and visit other communities that have done X, Y, or Z effectively, then they're not only learning about it, but they can get their hands in it. They could work with a farmer from another community that's really figured out that pest situation and work with them for a day and have practical experience to bring back to the coordinating committee and therefore back to the community. And remember, that coordinating committee, it's the interface. So whatever we bring into it, we can spread that out to the rest of the community. So if one member of that coordinating committee goes out and reads a book or has a conversation with somebody or works with a plot of land that from somebody in another community that's doing something successful, then that's just as though the rest of the entire community did, because he's able to bring that back to the coordinating committee can bring that back to the community, and without that coordinating committee, one farmer who went and learned one new thing is one farmer who went and learned one new thing. But now that we have the coordinating committee, there's a really powerful implications there. Okay. In this process of developing our capacities and specifically looking for success elsewhere, the coordinating committee is developing more connections, okay? They are developing connections with new people. That's what we talked about, always increasing connectivity. They're coming up with new ideas. They might be learning new skills, or like the situation with the solar yesterday, that they're meeting people that have new skills that they can learn from. They can get trained by these new people that they find have skills that their community might be lacking. They also get connected to other types of resources, okay? Another thing that I love this term, the mating of ideas. Oftentimes, two different people have really, really good half ideas. And when those two ideas can come together, they can result in something that actually really, really works. You know, most inventors that we know that have done great things, all they did was they took half of their idea with other people's ideas, they brought them together and they found something that worked, okay? And so by looking for success elsewhere and encouraging the coordinating committee to be working with other people, then we'll be able to really find new innovative solutions. And again, hands-on experience and understanding is they're able to learn from other places. A couple tips for action is positioning the coordinating committee to have this mindset that we'll call surveillance for success. So if they travel to other communities to visit family members, or to do business, or to sell goods, or to travel to a main city or something like that, they know that as a representative of their community, that they're always on the lookout for best practices, or for innovative solutions, or for ways that communities in other places have addressed the same types of issues. And if they get kind of set up with that antenna open, then they're going to be available to recognize a lot of things that they might have just walked right past and bypassed. But now they're looking for those successes, and they know that they've got the responsibility for the community to bring them to them. And this could be local, it could be regional, it could be across regions in different parts of the countries, and it can even be international. And some organizations have supported members of coordinating committees that are really up to big things and actually traveling internationally to learn some powerful principles from other places and other countries and bring them back to their communities, and now have a new wealth of knowledge, skills, information that through the interface of the coordinating committee they can bring to the rest of the communities. There's one example where an organization brought a whole bunch of members from different coordinating committees in Nepal actually to America. That was a little bit of an extreme situation, but imagine what value those members were able to bring back, and how many new insights, new perspectives that they were able to, that new insight and perspective was able to live forever in their communities through what they learned in those international experiences. Again, that's not always likely, nor I think should it be seen as a default space, but it's exciting to see that some opportunities like that have been created. And then also just focus on additional learning, right? If there's manuals, if there's books, if there's forms, if there's other types of things that we can bring to our coordinating committee that can increase their capacity, right? When we worked with ours, we're bringing our flip charts, we're looking at sanitation problems, we're doing examples, demonstrations together about hand washing. So we're training at every step of the way. Through all of our coordinating committee meetings, we're constantly adding new information, so they're learning more and more, and every time we walk away from them, they're even better equipped to serve their community in a leadership space. Okay, so that's goal number 3, which is build the capacity of leaders. One of the main objectives was to get them to study success elsewhere.